promise, letting y'all know everything that happened during my downtime. I'm excited about what's all in store, but for the purposes of this video, I want to discuss, the title of this video is going to be the rebirth of me. And so those first time who are on the Doors to Destiny YouTube page, welcome. I am the CEO, Simone Covey Johnson. While you're here, make sure you like this message and subscribe and share it on all your platforms, because I truly believe that this word will help someone activate their faith and push towards their tomorrow. And so August 3rd of last year will forever be etched in my heart. It's a day of events that I will never forget. And in the beginning, I had no idea what God was going to do. It was just, I felt like my entire world was shattered. So a little backstory for those who may not know. Around March of last year, my 2013 Chrysler 200 car broke down. From March until August 2nd, my cars are broke down. We were operating on one car and finally got fixed August the 2nd. August the 3rd was our official last day in as a military family. And so August 3rd, I got into a car accident where the man hit me. If you have to check out one of my other videos to get the details, but long story short, he hit me as I was turning. He slammed into me. The car was drivable during that time. I didn't think that I would have any problems with this man, but he ended up telling the insurance company that it wasn't my fault. So we had to do shit out, go through this long spiel, and come to find out I ended up winning in the end. And my car was total lost, and I had to get a new car. So during this time, we are moving. I'm going back to our original home in Georgia, and my spouse is going in a different direction. I cannot tell you how many times I cried my eyes out. I've cried more last year than I think I've cried my entire life, and I am not exaggerating, y'all. One of my biggest fears, more than one, is being a single mom, getting a divorce. Those always been my two biggest fears in life. And I don't think anyone gets married with the intentions of getting a divorce, and I don't think anyone have kids with the intentions of being a single parent. But that's just how life crumbles. That's just how the life was. And my biggest fears is what I was now walking into, and I couldn't understand. I was angry. I didn't know why I was in the spot that I was in, because I felt like I did everything. I felt like I prayed. I felt like I fasted. I felt like, I just felt like I went in, and I didn't know why I was in the situation that I'm in. I didn't have a job. I didn't know how I was going to support my kids. I left August 3rd with my last refund check of school. I was getting my master's degree, the hardest class of my program, and I had to move in the middle of my master's degree. I didn't even think I was going to finish getting my master's degree. It was so many times I wanted to quit, because life just was, everything just felt like it was falling apart. I didn't know how I was going to support my kids. I didn't know how I was going to finish my master's degree, because now my only focus now is making sure my kids, I'm providing for my kids. It was like a survival mode. It was no longer about me and my feelings and how I was processing. It was like I was in survival mode. Like, I had to get on top of this stuff. I had to get the food stamps. I had to get the government assistance. It was survival mode for me. And I always said, no matter if I'm struggling or not, my kids will never know that we're struggling. And so during the struggle, my kids never lacked for nothing. They didn't even want for nothing, because they all, like, it went as normal to them. The routine was normal. Everything of how their life has been normal in their eyes, because I made it a priority to make sure that their life continued the same, although my life didn't. And so that's always been big. That always will be a big thing for me. Their life will continue on as normal, although my life has changed. So although I'm struggling, my kids will never know what it feels like to struggle. That will stick to me until my dying day. That's just me. So during this time, I'm applying for jobs. Y'all, I seem like I applied for over 500 jobs. Maybe not, but that's just how I felt. I was applying for like over 500 jobs. Denial letter after denial letter after denial letter after denial letter after reject. At this point, I don't know how my bills are going to get paid. I don't know how I'm going to make it. The money that I did have, half of that went towards the air conditioning in the home, because the air conditioning was out. My EBT card went around the world and back before you even got here. So, you know, it was just a lot. It was just a lot emotionally. It was a lot as a mom, and it was a lot because the idea of a life that I had for myself was opposite of what I was walking through. And so I asked God several times, why me? I do not understand this. I don't know why these doors slamming in my face. I just don't know why I'm here. At this point in time, I wanted my family. I just wanted the picture that I had in my head is what I wanted to see in my life, and it wasn't adding up. And at this point in life, I had to surrender what I wanted to accept what God had planned for me. And so in life, when you walking through this life on this journey of life, why I'm stuck on destiny conversations, destiny, chasing after your destiny, because what you want for your life and what God has for your life may be completely different, or the path that you want to walk to get there may be completely different from the path that God has for you to get there. So for instance, you want to be a millionaire. Okay, God has this design for you to be a millionaire, but you may have to be broke in order to walk this journey towards being a millionaire. And in your mind, you just want to be a billionaire overnight. Both of you guys got the same concept of your life on you being a millionaire, but how you walk that out to becoming a millionaire is two different things. And so of course, naturally for us, we want the shortcut, we want the easy way. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes to how God do things, it's really easy. You have to walk through some stuff. You have to walk through the fire. You have to walk through the storm. You have to walk through the trials in order to prove yourself on the other side. And so when I got to the point where I really surrendered, I would be honest and say I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. Was to say either I was going to trust him and hold him to his word, either I was going to have faith knowing that God was going to bring me out, or I was just going to sit down and cry all day and just watch life pass me by. I made a decision that God has not failed me yet, and he ain't gonna fail me now. And so no matter what it looked like, no matter what was around me, I choose to trust God. I choose to lay down my life to pick up his cross. And so it was tough. I'm not gonna tell you it wasn't tough. I'm not gonna tell you it wasn't tears. It was tough, y'all. It was tough. It was tough. It was tough. But what I will tell you is that when I got to the place of surrender, I still didn't have an income. I still didn't know how my bills was going to get paid. I still didn't know how I was going to feed my kids. But when I got to a place of surrender, I can promise you that every bill was paid. Money was coming out the woodworks, y'all. Money was coming out the woodworks. I mean, it blew my mind so bad to one incident in particular I will never forget. I just prayed about it, something in my prayer journal, financially related, that morning at 5 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, I received a text message, but the same blessing that I just prayed and asked God about. When I tell y'all, money was coming in on Cash App without me asking. God was putting me on someone's heart and mind in order to bless me, y'all. My support system came in. When I say no one can ever in this world make me doubt him or turn my back on him or make me think that God is not real, there's nobody in this world can ever do that. Because when I didn't have nothing, he gave me everything. And it's not just financially. Yes, he opened the doors financially where I didn't have to want, or me and my children didn't have to want or need for a thing. But he also gave me everything I needed on the inside of me. See, there was a broken little girl on the inside of me that was saying on the outside, I'm grown and I'm this and I'm this and I'm that. And God began to show me the broken little girl on the inside of me that has yet to heal from the trauma, from the things that she experienced in life. And so during this journey, God took me down the path of forgiveness. God took me down the path of healing. God really dealt with me about the matters of my heart. God really dealt with me on healing from the things that I never spoke about, or the things that happened that I thought that I got over and I really didn't. And I always say it takes a brave person to heal. It's easy for you to just brush it off and push it off and oh, that ain't matter and stuff like that, and you brush it off, and you brush it off till you can't brush it off anymore. Anything that you do not confront, you cannot heal from. And don't think by running away from it that is going. No, all that's going to do is build up to the point where you are going to explode. And when you hit that point of exploding, all the stuff that you think that you pushed off and you let go will come to the surface, and it's just you be spiraling right on out of control. And I call this time in my life, I hit rock bottom. And when people hear that, they be like, oh man, you just down and out. But when I say the phrase I hit rock bottom, I don't look at it as a negative thing. I look at it as it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Me hitting rock bottom was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it was like he was removing the old, shedding off the skin, and placing a new coat over me. I call it a rebirth because during this season, it was a rebirth of me. I am stronger, and I tapped into strength that I didn't even know that was there. I became more independent than what I ever thought or imagined that I can be. And the things that was my biggest fears that I didn't think that I could overcome, I'm now walking in it boldly, and I'm now walking in it confidently. And it's no longer a fear. My biggest fear is no longer a fear because I conquered it. Let me say that again. My biggest fears are no longer my biggest fears because I conquered it. I walked through it and I experienced it. And what I realized is when I was experiencing it, no, it's not ideal what my situation was, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I had more peace. I had more joy. I had more freedom. I got to discover who Simone was, without any titles, without any accolades, without any spotlight being shined on me. I got to see who I was. The healed version of me is so much better than the broken little girl that I carried around all these years. And so during this journey of life, when I think back on August 3rd, the tears that I cry is different. The tears in the beginning was tears of fear, was tears of me feeling like my whole life was shattering and falling apart. And the tears, when I think of what I went through a year later, the tears now have a new meaning. God will Allow your tears to have a new meaning. What was once meant as sorrow, your tears now will become tears of joy. Let me say that again. God will give your tears a new meaning. What was once tears of sorrow will now be tears of joy. And when I look back on it in a year time frame, the tears that I cry now is tears of joy, because if I could go back through it all again, to be on the other side of this, I will. I came out with a career, which is so weird, because this job I applied for months. I had forgot about this job, and they finally sent me an email saying about the interview. I forgot all about the job, y'all. And so this career, only God could have opened the doors, because it was months ago that I applied for this job. I even forgot about it until they sent me an email, and I got not just a job, but a career, salary paid, where I never have to want for a thing again. I haven't even been on the job a year, and I already got a raise, because my God is bigger than that. And yes, because of the amount of money, they cut off the food stamps. But I can tell you one thing, I got enough money in my account to feed my kids and still have extra left over. And I'm not saying that to brag, and I'm not saying that because those same government assistance I needed, I could not make it without it. But I will also praise God and thank Him that I no longer need it, and that I'm financially able to feed and provide for my kids, and I do no longer need those things. Because that's a part of growth. We start at square one, but the object of life is not to stay at square one. The object of life is keep going to the next level and keep going to the next level. I may be in government housing right now, but I'm gonna keep working towards the next level, because one day I'm gonna become a homeowner, and maybe before a homeowner I may have to rent. But the goal is to become a homeowner where I'm no longer paying somebody else for their property. I am now invested in a property of my own that I can pass down to my children, that I can invest into generations to come. That's the goal. So although you may be at level one, that is fine. Don't despise small beginnings, because had I despised my small beginnings, I would have forfeit what God was doing in my life at the next level that I was going through. I had to hit rock bottom so God could do a complete makeover of Simone. I had to hit level one so that He can build me up to the next level. And it's nobody that can take credit. It's nobody that can say they had a hand in that. All credit goes to God, and God works in mysterious ways that He will remove the people out your life that you depend so much on and that you give so much credit to, so that when He do it, only God can get the glory. Only you can say, only God. It was nobody else. Yes, God used people to bless me, but the things that happen in my life, the only person that gets the praise and the only person that gets the glory and the honor is God. Not even Simone, because there was so many days where I wanted to give up. There was so many days I cried. There was so many days I just hugged my kids, not knowing how we was going to make it. My kids gave me the strength. God gave me the strength. But when I look in those kids' eyes, I knew giving up was not an option. I did not know how. I just knew that I had to make it. And I couldn't do it without God. I couldn't do it without God. And so I look back on that journey where I didn't have $1 to my name, to now being able to provide for my kids without asking anybody for nothing. Yo, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. That's a blessing that I do not take for granted. Because when you have things handed to you in the fortunes of military life, you become accustomed to things. And now that those things were removed, I was in a new season. I did not know what the heck I was doing, y'all. I did not have a clue. I did not have a clue. I always had a spouse that helped and to depend on and I now had to do it my own self. I now had to take out my own trash. I now had to fix all repairs in my house. I now had to do this. I now had to do that. I was calling my stepdaddy like, how to do this, how to do that. My daddy coming in, helping me with this, helping me with that. I had no clue, y'all. I had no clue. I was so clueless. Me cutting my own grass. I didn't know how to cut my own grass until last year. I have never had to cut my own grass. And y'all, I had to learn how to cut my own grass. Y'all should have seen me out there. And I can be honest and say I'm still not the best, but to get the job done, okay? Now a man come cut my grass, but when I couldn't afford it, I had to go out there and cut that grass. And my yard is huge. Y'all, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. But God provides. And God knows exactly what we need before we needed it. I needed to hit rock bottom. It was one of the most humbling experiences of my life. It was one of the most, although it was the hardest season of my life, it was the best season of my life because I had to walk through the fire to get on the other side. And so when you see my praise and when you see my tears of joy, just know I went through the fire to get here, and I don't apologize for the blessings that God had me walking through, and I don't feel sorry for the next level that God has blessed me and taken me and my family through. You know why? Because I worked hard for it. I walked through the fire, and I don't even deserve it, but I worked. I've been faithful over a few. Even when I didn't have nothing, I was faithful. Even when I couldn't see my way, I still trust Him. Even when I call myself being angry at God, I still continue to trust Him. I'm angry, God, but I'm going to trust you. I'm not going to turn my back on you. I remember praying this, okay? I do not understand what you're doing, God. I do not understand that. I am angry. I am pissed that you put me in this situation that I'm in, because this is my biggest fear. But I won't turn my back on you. I remember writing this so clearly. I remember telling my spiritual God, my spiritual mom, I am so angry at God right now. I don't understand none of it. But I won't turn my back on Him, because I need to see why I had to go through all the hell that I had to go through, to see why I got to go through this. When people walking through, I know it's one of the toughest seasons in your life. I do not downplay it. But please walk through. If I'm going to go through this hell, I'm going to walk through to see why it was worth. Why is the hell worth it on the other side? I gotta see what's on the other side. There's no way I'm gonna walk through this hell, experience all the hardships that I experienced, and not know why on the other side. Because on the other side, I need to see why it was worth me going through it. I need to see what's on the other side, because it says we walk through the valley. We don't stay in the valley. And so when I get when I go through this valley, there's blessings, there's riches, there's things on the other side. And so now I got to walk this thing out, and no, it does not feel good. And no, I do not want to do this. But I got to walk this thing out to see what God doing, because in the end, He knows what's best for me. I got to walk this thing out. I got to walk this thing out. I can't stop now, because I got 2 kids that needs me. And yeah, I got to sacrifice it. Yeah, I got to go without to make sure that they have it, and I'm okay with that. So no, I can't go buy new clothes right now, although all my clothes is, I know last time I buy a new pair of shirt. I can't do that right now, because there's priorities that has to take place. And no, Lord, I don't know where or how I'm going to pay these bills, but I thank you that you send money in and you allow places on people's heart to bless me. I'll also say, during this season of life, I realized who was for me and who was not. The people that I thought would have stayed left, and the people that I thought would have left end up staying. And so when I say that I got a solid team behind me, y'all, that's because they walk through. You know who's for you when you walk through the toughest times of your life. Because when you walk through, you got people that's going to talk about you. You got people that's whispering. You got people that's saying all this stuff, not knowing the half of what was actually going on. News articles. Was an article up and people chat, not even knowing that I ain't even had nothing to do with it. I ain't even had I find out like y'all know, like they didn't know the half, because it wasn't for them to know. My story wasn't for everybody. I shared it for those at the time who God placed on my heart to forgive, to share with, but I wasn't ready to share it all, because I still had to walk through it. And most people just want to be nosy and get all the juicy details, and that's not the purpose of why I share my story. My purpose of sharing my story is to help somebody else and realize that you do not have to settle. I would rather be by myself than to settle for less than what I deserve. I would rather be by myself if I have to compromise who I am. If I am not good enough for you as a friend, if I'm not good enough for you as a spouse, if I'm not good enough for you as a worker, then I am okay with saying behind. And knowing that God is going to reward me, and knowing that God is going to bless me for me being true to me. But how can I be true to myself if I don't even know who I am? I didn't even know what Simone wanted. I didn't even know who I was alone. I didn't have a clue. And so I call it the rebirth of me, because I am new in every which way, fashion, and form. My thoughts now are new. The way I see things are new. The way that I walk and the way that I talk are new. I am a new creation. And so this day, August 3rd, you probably see this video after that, but August 3rd will always be etched in my heart as the rebirth of me. It will always, it's a date that I will never forget, because it was, although it was one of the toughest seasons of my life, it gave me purpose. And now I have a story behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if y'all thought that I was going hard and I was passionate before to help women reach their fullest potential, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet, because now I'm even more passionate, and now I'm even more hungry, and now I'm even more optimistic about doing what God has placed for me to do. When I leave this earth, I'm leaving empty. I'm not leaving full of all the ideas and all the things that God has for me. When I leave this earth, when I take my final breath, I want to leave empty, knowing that I have poured out everything that God has poured into me to help his people. And don't you dare turn your back on God. And don't you dare settle for less than what you deserve, because although you're holding on to them same people you are scared of losing, you are also closing your heart and your mind to the new people that God has for you. I had to be open to accept the new people that God had in my life, because I was always the one that was always helping everybody else. And it was hard for me to receive the help when I needed it the most. And the people that are in my circle, y'all, they will forever ride with me. Because when I was at my lowest, they helped me. They loved on me. They prayed for me. When I couldn't pray for myself, my family ain't never no question about it. Ain't never no question. Ain't never no question, because when I didn't have nobody else, oh, they went over above and beyond, and still do with one phone call. Ain't never a question. And so when you're tried through the fire, you come out as gold. You say, well, I like to say you come out as a diamond. You got to be tried through the fire to come out as a diamond. And so in this next journey within a year, all that God has done, y'all, is personal. I told y'all that in the video last year. It's personal. It's personal for me. It's a personal journey. I make it my mission to prove the devil a liar every chance that I get. I make it a mission that I do not play with the devil. I do not play with his minions. I do not play. I do not have a tolerance for the devil. I'm not questioning that. I'm not debating that. I don't care who it is. I'm not playing with the enemy. And the enemy should know by now not to play with me. And so that's just what it is. I don't care what it takes. I'm all in. I'm all in. And I'm just not giving the devil no room. I'm not giving the devil no inch, no mile. Everybody connected will make it to the top. Every single one. And I don't come off of that. I do not play with the devil. I do not play with the devil and none of his minions. So I say all that to say, it don't have to take a new year. It don't have to take a physical death, because I view it as a spiritual death. But it don't have to take you facing death to want to change, y'all. You gotta be sick and tired of being sick and tired. And either you can change, or God will throw something in your way that's gonna force your hand to change. But either which way, His glory will prevail. Our steps are ordered by the Lord. Either which way, God will do what He set out to do. Either you will get on board voluntary, or you will get on board involuntary. But He will do what it is that He will do. And so, the tears, God been good, y'all. God been good. God been so good. God been so good, y'all. God been so good. That's all I can say. God has been so good in blessing me beyond my wildest dream within a year. God has opened doors and performed miracles before my very eyes, y'all. Things that other people looked at as impossible. God said, not so. And I've been faithful over a few things. And so when you see my blessings, and when you see my stories, and you see me moving, don't just think that this happened overnight. This was a journey. This was a journey. This was a journey. And I hold my head up high, never ashamed or embarrassed on what I went through. I hold my head up high saying, thank you, God, that I went through all that I went through. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy in the beginning. But to be on the other side, y'all, He gets everything. I owe Him all. He will get all. And so, you will see some revampings of Notice to Destiny. You will see some revampings of Simone Cubby Johnson LLC coming soon. And a lot of other things that's coming, because I'm dying empty. Because this is the rebirth of me. Alright, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning into my message. Make sure y'all subscribe so you can get notifications on every time that I post a new message. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the comments how this video have inspired you, how this video has helped you in any way, and share it on your page, your social medias, your platform. Share wherever